Most people think launching on Amazon is simple. You pick a good product, you run some PPC, you get some reviews, and you're all set. Well, if you're thinking this way, guess what? You're wrong. And here's the truth. Most launches that are not optimized to win will probably fail. Not because of bad products, but because of ongoing changes with this little thing called AI. In this episode, we're going to uncover why your best listings might be invisible, how Amazon's new AI-driven search is quietly changing the rules, and why old school tactics are no longer effective. This episode will change how you're launching your products today, and if you're not implementing these changes, well, guess what? You're already behind the 8 ball. Our guest is the founder of Launch Lab and a veteran of at the Amazon space with nearly a decade of experience. After building and scaling multiple seven-figure brands, he now helps other brands launch and relaunch products with data-driven strategies. He's led over 150 successful launches, including a 4 million, this is pretty cool, a 4 million recovery for a single ASIN. And he's a sought after consultant for advanced ranking, listing optimization, and Amazon growth hacks. We're going to welcome today, first time, I've been chasing this guy for a long time, Colin Raja. So he'll be on in a second. But first, let's have a word from one of our sponsors. Are you spending more on Amazon ads and getting less return? There's a smarter way to grow and without increasing your budget. Levanta's affiliate shift calculator shows what you could do if you really allocate just a portion of your ad spend into affiliate marketing. If you're an Amazon seller doing over $5 million a year, this is for you. And guess what? It's free. All you have to do is click on the link in the description to go to your custom forecast today. Welcome, Colin.
Thank you, Norm. I appreciate it.
You're here.
It took so long to be in your pockets. You know how long I'm chasing?
Yeah, since that meal in New York about 5 years ago. You are in the big leagues. You're an advanced listing optimization expert. What are you doing so differently that are making things happen? Because a lot of people are finding it very difficult for a successful launch right now.
Yeah. So what small shift what we done is like instead of focusing on hacks and tricks, actually we focus on completely on the data. We measure so much data completely to identify what is wrong actually. So what we started doing, I apply my spiritual life into Amazon business as well. So I want to know if I'm fail, why am I failing? If I'm successful, why am I being successful? Since we have done for so many 150 products, actually within a 30 to 40 product launch, we were able to figure it out the test what we put together and why we fail and whatever failed reason we have, and we can able to turn into success by fixing that failure problem. If the test was successful, we replicate it for all the 50 products what we have done actually completely. So with that said, we're not dealing with the one category, we're dealing with the multiple categories. The reason why I'm talking about the different categories is like if any changes comes in, it comes into like a first baby and health and also supplements, and after that it comes to kitchen, and that's the lineup it comes up. Any changes comes in Amazon. So when we're dealing with the baby products, we know that one we're going to encounter every new problems actually. So once it done, 3 months later, you're going to get into the sports and outdoors. 4 months, 5 months later in industrial scientific, all these same problem what we're facing in the baby. So we were able to measure the data and able to come up with the logic of like how we can able to execute everything with data. That makes us super unique right now, because the failure I find failure is a stepping stone of like a success. So we take that as a stepping stone. What's the problem? How we can able to take that as like a step to move forward towards the success on the launch.
So I've got a product that's given me a ton of problems over the last 2 or 3 years. Now, the reason for it is and he's probably listening. Don't worry, I'm not going to say your name. But, there goes my Coke. There we go. Lucky I had the cap on. But the product went out of stock 11 times.
Hmm.
Okay, big problem.
That's a big problem.
Okay. And it's always been a problem. So finally, and this was a cash flow. So the guy just spread too thin, brought in 11 different products, and finally just said, look, you got to cut it. Like get down to 2 products, make sure you got inventory and start moving. The problem is organic sales aren't moving. Okay. It's kind of proportionate. Cut back the PPC because the PPC, you couldn't get a sale. Yet, get this, Colin, on the one product, there's 1,300 reviews, all real reviews, with 4.7-star rating.
Oh,
It can't be a better product. And it was selling like crazy. Like I remember one day this thing, there was 1,200 units sold.
wow.
Now you might get one.
All right, let's break it down that one right now. Okay,
Oh,
let me ask you a couple of questions.
sure.
Is it like if you put together the product in a one sheet, Ashley, would you be able to differentiate from your product and your competitor product, first of all?
I'd say yes.
Okay, all right, that's a good thing. The second one is basically this is what happens. This is why most of the people got into a problem in 2021, actually. A lot of people were not able to recover the product 2021, 2021. This is the reason. They went out of stock, right? What happened during the went out of stock season? So your foreign ASIN, so let's say that your product is selling good, really good, right? It doesn't care about Amazon compliance in terms of like scores. There are like 5 items is most important. One was like your backend item type score, product type score, browse node score, and also like your sales velocity score, your relevancy score. Those scores that exist. Each and everything has like a certain pointer. With that one, your sales score has like a 2x pointer, right? If your sales are higher, all of the things can be suppressed. Your sales could be able to lead to a better direction, actually, right? Your ranking could be much better. You're not going to have any problem.
Right.
Assume that your sales went down automatically. Your sales went down to 0.
Mhm.
There are 2 things happen. One, if your backend product item type and geo and all the relevancy cumulative of your sales is 0, so it can take over the compliance actually at that point. If your backend is messed up during that point of time, and you're probably never going to able to get that product up again. I'll tell you why the backend problem will mess up actually. So when you go out of stock, what will happen is like your foreign ASIN, for example, if someone bots, there are a lot of bots available on Amazon, the wholesaler who take the ASIN and then sell it in a different market by buying it from US market actually, right? You know about that.
Yeah.
So when they updating it, it's automatically updating the garbage information. They're not doing the optimization. Why? Because they're uploading 10,000 listings at the same time. Whenever the new listing come, they publish in multiple places. They're updating garbage information. When your listing goes down, all the information which you not filled up here, it get filled up here completely in your US market actually. Based on this information what you have right now, Amazon AI can update every single thing what you, in your listing. So because of that reason, your listing backend will mess up so bad. I have seen hundreds of listings just like that. We track 360 checkpoints every single day basis for the ASIN. We have seen random attributes are getting updated. When we go back and trace back, we see some of the data come from Mexico, some of the data come from UK. Why? Because Amazon cannot touch your listing. That's the compliance for them. But the same ASIN, whatever you have in the past, it can able to touch it. So that's the second issue what you have, right?
So you're saying that if you've got a crappy listing a year ago, it can go and update based on the criteria back then, the attributes and update rather than whatever is on the listing right now?
Yes.
Worried about Amazon's new compliance rules? Should you change what's working or play it safe? Well, Colin Raja and I are going to break it down right now.
It is happening. This is like, and also this is one of the black hat service Chinese are offering right now. They're offering to people who can able to hack your backend data. They can able to corrupt your backend data completely, like in terms of attributes and refinements and every single thing aspect of it.
So even though contributor rights, so you've been keeping all the fields filled in your North American account, they can still go back.
Now, when you filled it, it rarely happens, but
Okay.
most of the time people don't fill those information.
So let's talk about contributors' rights, just so people know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Contributor rights, it would be the person who is constantly or consistently updating. And then beyond that, you want to make sure, Vanessa Hung talks about this all the time, where the flat files always had every attribute you could possibly have filled in. So that was back probably a couple of years ago. Now there are a couple of updates to that, but contributors' rights are still one of the main reasons that your account doesn't get hacked.
I mean, that's not hacked. I would say this is called the terminology what they use in Seller Central called winning contribution. Actually, who is the winning contributor for that product specifically, right? When Amazon touch your listing in terms of like size, in terms of like anything that they're updating in your listing, if you're not updated, they take the winning contribution. When it comes to a winning contribution, there are crucial areas in your listing cannot get updated. For example, images, title, bullet points, and then search term. There are few information you cannot even touch it. For that, you need to go and then request them to get back your winning contribution, and after they get the approval, then you can able to update it completely. Okay. Let's go back here into the issue that what we have, right? That's the second thing what we talk about. The third one is basically when you have the mess up backend data, your PPC never going to be performed pretty good. Your PPC will mess up because the relevancy has a problem. We have compared Apple to Apple product completely, and where one has like a better relevancy, other one has like a worse relevancy, the CPC higher for the worst relevancy completely, better than your the good relevant product actually at that point. So fourth one is basically if your listing was like really doing good before and you don't go good because right now we are in EQR dynamic re-ranking model. Before we are in relevancy model. How the relevancy model works is like the number of times you repeat the words in your listing, you get the higher relevancy and you get higher ranking. Right now, you need to have like a natural language processing model. If any time that you're updating your listing with like a multiple words, right now Amazon implement that one. That happens 1 year ago. Right now, Amazon put a policy at this point, like you cannot repeat more than 2 words in your listing title, right? So if you don't do this one, if you have the listing was really good and then you don't change this process, natural language processing, you're still in a relevancy model actually. Anybody who has like a relevancy, they move from relevancy to EQR model, they can able to take over your sales at this point.
I've talked to a lot of sellers, and when I talk to them about these new compliance issues, not repeating keywords or the 150 characters in the title, no longer like they wanted 150 characters or less. People are worried that, hey, this title's been working for me. I don't want to touch that title. I don't want to do the 150. I don't want to just have that one keyword in there and not repeat it. So that's a real fear for a lot of sellers.
Totally, I get it. But if you don't follow that process with the latest algorithm, I mean, you got to go in and check it out what is EQR model is. You got to check what is NLP model. That is completely against the natural language processing. And also Rufus and Cosmo, if you don't fill up the appropriate information, you will end up not able to take advantage of it. The one thing I would say is basically indexing is not anymore a factor for ranking. We never be indexed for keyword, but we still able to rank for the keyword. That's what I'm saying. I mean, we ranked for brand name like crazy. We were like in a brand name third position actually, completely. So because if you semantically mapped all the keywords completely, then you can able to rank for a multiple semantic level. For example, if you rank for space, you can index for earth, you can index for sun, you can index for clouds, you can index for all the components related to space. It also reverse. If you rank for earth, you can also index for space as well. So it's a vice versa thing. It's like, for example, right? Let's go into Amazon, a little bit of like Amazon algorithm aspect of it. When you put up a title, when you put up like a keyword in a search algorithm, Amazon split everything into n-gram, right? Each and every characteristic, and take a semantic level of keyword. Let's say that they take a space and they take ad and everything. Let's say they check if you're relevant on that one particularly. If your images, if your title, your bullet points, your reviews are completely talk about that particular context of that product. So that's why right now what we focus is called multi-model semantic mapping, basically, which is like you don't focus on title, bullet points, key and description and back end search terms. You focus on all the things what you mentioned. You mentioned in your images, you mentioned in your videos, and you mentioned in your Q&As, and you mentioned your somebody who's like posting about things in the reviews. Those are all the things that matter at this point.
You talked about not being able to change things. So let's say images. That's usually one of the common ones. You can change maybe the title, content, but you can't change the images because of one reason or the other. Who do you contact?
Amazon.
Yeah, but is there a specific department that you can?
I will give you guys a quick guidance on that one. Actually, you go on a call, ask him about questions. So the best way to get better response from Amazon is your questions. If somebody was responding you with a general scripts, you don't want to talk to them. Hang up the phone, call again. So the best question what I ask him is like, hey, have you ever dealt with this issue, Ashley? They're like, no, I can help you. Then you don't want to talk to that guy. And second question is like, do you know about winning? What is winning contribution? If they say, oh, no, I don't know anything about it, but I can find out, I can help you, actually, hang up the phone, call again.
Yeah.
So we do like a multiple calls like this. The end of the day, you can able to find one person who say yes for a lot of answers, actually. So somebody says like, yes, I know I did the winning contribution. I know how to change it. Well, because winning contribution, they cannot change it. They need to rise it to a brand analytics team, actually. No, sorry, brand registry team. If somebody is not telling like, oh yeah, I can raise a case to a brand registry team to change it, and it will take like 4 to 5 hours to make the changes at this point. If they say like 72 hours, if they say 48 hours, no, they're just creating the case. That case is not even being escalated to change it. They create a case, they didn't escalate to the right team to make the changes. We changed hundreds. I'm talking about like more than 100 listings. This issues would happen. We were able to make the changes like really good. But again, you need to use the right language to the Amazon Seller Central and find out if they understand your language. What are you talking about?
That's a great point. And here's another point that we used to, I don't know why we haven't talked about this in a while, but if you find somebody good, just like Colin was talking about, somebody that can solve that problem, and usually that one person is just somebody that's very helpful too. They might know, but they're also, and I've just found this where you've got that one individual at customer service that really knows their stuff. Well, what we do is we put together a list of questions over a period of a day, a week, a month that nobody's has been able to ask. And we wait for that one person. And then, hey, would you be able to help us out with X, Y, Z?
Yeah.
And usually it works.
They would do.
Yeah.
They totally would do it, actually, for sure. We use the same strategy. But if I got them in a call, we're going like other, hey, can you take a look at this case ID? Can you check it out? What's going on? And we appreciate them. And then we are like, okay, you're doing my life much better. And they were able to, they ask you to assign, they ask you to send that one. They'll assign it to themselves completely. They can able to get that done, actually, very honestly. But out of 5 calls, if you make, you can get one person. Out of 5 calls, that's where our thing is. My team go and then make the calls and say, okay, if they don't answer, respond, hang up. You don't want to waste your time. Again, call again. Out of 5 calls, you can get one guy. If you try for one guy, keep him in the online, ask him for escalation, ask for like a supervisor, that doesn't work out, actually, really. So speak the language, understand. Well, because you speaking a different language, you from the seller central perspective, from the seller perspective, completely different language. So understand the one thing, winning contribution. If somebody doesn't know winning contribution, hang up the phone and call again.
Colin Raj and I are about to dive into what sellers should be doing right now to prep for every new product launch. Don't miss out on this part. Is there a list of 3 or 5 things a seller should do now for preparing for a launch?
First thing first, the most important thing I would say, what most of the sellers doing wrong at this point is they are not focusing on one or two segments of buyers. For example, right? We have like a seven type of buyers there. We have a professional buyer, value buyer, and we have like a people who's like a gift buyers, seasonal buyers. So there are like seven types of buyer there. If you go into like a professional buyer and a value buyer, so professional buyers, they are very low price sensitive. They don't care about the pricing. They're looking for a better results what they can get out of the product. But if you're looking for a value buyer, they're very high sensitive, price high sensitive. They look for maximum out of the buck what they can try to get, right? So the images how you created it has to be changed from this value buyer and a professional buyer, right? The professional buyer's second image needs to be like so much in detail about the product, but the value buyer you're like give like cover, cleaner, and the wipes and everything together as a bundle. It's a value add for them. If like, oh, I get everything and then I can get buy the product. So that's how you get the conversion on increasing on your product, actually, literally, right? So focus on one type of buyer, one or two types of buyer. You don't want to focus on creating a generic listing and completely going for all the keywords, focusing on all the keywords. It kills your momentum. So you have to very predictably create a listing in terms of like what are the keywords you're going to focus on, what type of buyers will search for that type of keyword. For example, magnesium. Magnesium has like a five types of buyers, which is like woman wellness can be go, sleep, and also like an athlete, and also a body sore, and also like a anti-aging process as well, right? So if you go for sleep, it's only like $15 to $19. If you go for like a anti-aging, it's like $65 to $75 product. It's the same product with a different configuration, makes a different pricing. When you're creating the product, you take a look at like where you can able to place it. That's the most important thing, what you need to change it. That's what the EQR model it's required for at this point. Second thing, what is required? Yeah, go ahead now. Your question.
No, I was going to say with that model that you're talking about, you've got a single listing though. So in your stack or your slide deck, you can only really target that one persona, correct? Well, you would be targeting that one.
I would target like a one or two, actually.
One or two. Okay. All right.
Usually you have like a five personas. You will get like a 5 to 6 personas based on the keyword. Out of that, I choose two and I will choose which one is easier for me to build the momentum first. And build the momentum, you can focus on once you ranked on these two buyer persona, you can able to rank for multiple keywords. Why? Because people would resonate your listing completely, right? And you can increase the pricing because you already built a momentum at that point.
All right, we're going to come back. We're at the bottom of the hour. So if you're new to the podcast, we do something at the top of the hour called the Wheel of Kelsey. And that's a giveaway that usually our guests provide. And today, Colin's got a great giveaway. So Colin, what is it?
All right. So the giveaway, what I got is basically, if you are having a problem and if your product was selling really great and it went down for some reason, you can come and then talk to me and then I can have like a 1 hour strategy call to find out what exactly happened in your listing and what exactly you need to do and what keywords you are dropped and what segment you need to focus on. I can give you like a free audit call, which is cost like $1,500. Usually we do it for the audit, deep audit. We'll give you for free for the audience.
Perfect. And as you can tell, Colin knows his stuff. So if you're interested, either hashtag Wheel of Kelsey, tag two people, you get a second entry as well. Now you can enter through the newsletter. So those are three different ways that you can get an entry. I would highly recommend that you do this. If you've got a product that you have an issue or having issues with, Colin can help you solve that issue. All right, Kels, let's go to a sponsor. Hey, Amazon sellers. If you've listened to the Lunch with Norm podcast over the years, you've probably heard me talk about Flat World Network and some of the services that we use to help brands find and maintain serious growth. Well, if your sales have plateaued or you feel like your listings just aren't converting, you're not alone. I've built a proven system over the years to help sellers increase conversion and unlock more sales. I'm going to be giving away a free audit to show you exactly what's wrong with your listing and how you can improve it. In fact, I'm going to be completely transparent and I'm going to let you know the good, the bad, and the ugly. So if you can handle the truth and you want to scale, hit the link in the description or go to flatworldnetwork.com and grab your free audit today. By the way, I'm going to be just passing those audits off to Colin from now on.
I'm about to take it. It's all good. Yeah.
All right. So let's get back to it. I think we got stuck at number 2 or number 3.
Yeah. So now we going on number. So first we finished like a personalized listing. The second one is you're focusing on. So when you build the momentum, you take those keywords, you focus on the keywords and run those keywords, right? This is where the number 2 strategy comes in place. You don't want to take random keywords and rank for it. So Amazon EQR model, the major focus is higher purchase intent. Before what we do, you take a 1 or 2 browse keywords, give away like 100, 200 units, all the purchase keyword will get ranked for it. And you're good actually, right? That we have done it in a relevancy model. It works out really well. But right now, you go in like an opposite way completely. You create a supporting keyword, all the purchase keyword, high purchase intent keyword, take those keywords, rank for it, and your browse keyword automatically able to get ranked. You don't get ranked for like top 5%. You will able to see like top 15%, 20% actually. When you see that, that means whatever you're doing is right. If it's not coming, that means you missed a few more keywords. So you got to go dig back and rank those keywords. And also your launch get very less expensive when you're focusing on higher purchase intent keyword. If you focus on like a the browse lower purchase intent keyword, it's called like a browse keyword. You end up in like spending crazy amount of money on that. Rather than you do this in the opposite way, it works out pretty well actually. So the third one, we finished the third one, right? The fourth one, what's most important thing I would say in life, everything we got, success leaves a clue actually. Right. We take that's a philosophy in my life. What success, what Amazon in your listing, they leaving clue and how you can build a momentum out of it. You win small and then you win bigger actually. If you focus on winning bigger, you will be like very tough to reach anything. Focus on winning small things at one at a time and then you will able to win bigger things in your life actually. So what is a small win? What Amazon is giving it to you? At this point, you can able to go and find out like Amazon is already giving you a signal of like how many keywords in a day, how many keywords when you launch the product, how many keywords you were able to rank as soon as possible. You don't have you do a proper SEO, you will able to see your most like at least 10 keywords on the first week of it, able to see that one in your top 45 pages. If you see that, that means that Amazon already giving you clue that these keywords are very relevant for you. If the keyword is not right, you got to go and then fix your listing, right? If the keyword is relevant, take those keywords as Amazon recognized keywords. That's what we call Amazon recognized keyword. Say that, okay, go back to the browse keyword, download all the purchase keyword out of it, rank that particular phase of keyword, batch of keywords. You get ranked 70% higher than a regular keyword you can able to rank for. We were able to rank in a 3 to 4 days by using this strategy. It's a very powerful strategy. Then you don't have to go for a guesswork. You don't have to go for like a breaking your head, like what keyword I need to focus on. As long as you already batch your keywords into like phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and you wait for Amazon to give you a signal and take those batches. Let's say that it's in a 5th batch where you have 5th phase, but Amazon is already giving you the relevancy for that. Take the fifth phase 5 to phase 1, launch the whole thing. And the second phase will be the same. When you ranked a set of 10 keyword, Amazon is already giving you like another 5 to 10 keywords ranked on like top 45. So take that one higher relevant and do that one repeatedly completely.
Now, are you doing that with product giveaways or are you doing that with other forms of launch strategies? Don't forget to subscribe and leave me a comment saying I subscribe and I'll personally reply to your comment.
All right. The first thing first, I have like a criticality 1 to 7 actually on the keywords. The first criticality is like when you do a SEO, proper SEO, you can able to rank certain keywords super pretty good actually, right? The second one is basically like you need to do a proper SEO and PPC. Third one is like you need to proper SEO, PPC, and also external traffic. And fourth one is like you need to do a proper SEO, PPC plus external traffic plus some kind of giveaways. So there is like a level of things that you go through each and every level actually. You take It's not a product launch. We need to change that one to a product launch, to it's a keyword launch. You take each and every keyword from pre-launch, launch, maintenance, growth, and growth maintenance phases. Each and every keyword has a separate KPI. You don't want to mix your KPI as well. At the end of for the beginning of the launch, your KPI should be like, I need to get like traffic. If you have like enough traffic on your listing, you will able to rank for your listing without a sales. But if the second week, second phase of the launch, if you don't make sale for that keyword, you're probably going to go down to where you are before. So make the transition, one, start from pre-launch to growth actually completely.
All right, very good. Now, there might be some confusion out there because of what we were talking about at the beginning, that you're not allowed to repeat a keyword. They're not looking for repeated keywords. So let's just take the bully sticks, for example. Well, you've got an odorless bully stick, and this might have been something that could have easily been in the title with three phrases, but odorless bully stick, made in the USA bully sticks, grass-fed bully sticks, 6-inch bully sticks. Like there's a ton of keywords for bully sticks and pizzle and whatever it is. They're not going to be all these phrases back to back to back in the bullets in the title. So when we're talking about this now, we would talk about an odorless. The bully stick might be odorless, or it might be another bullet about grass fed or the health for your dog. You're not seeing repetitive phrases, correct?
This is where I was coming in a place of like, this is where you need to understand what is NLP looks like, natural language processing, right? What is natural language processing? How EQR is supporting towards a natural language processing? This is how it works. As I mentioned before, you don't have to index for keyword. See, first of all, why we need to do multiple keywords? First of all, because we want to get index. Why you need to get index? You need to be then only you can able to rank, right? Are we on the same page on that? Right.
Yep.
So if the indexing is not anymore a factor for ranking, why would we need to do that? So what I'm talking about is like I'm not sure what is bully stick. Can you help me out with this?
It's dried bull penis.
Okay. All right. That's all right. So let's say the bully stick, right? So the point is, what kind of dog used that one?
All dogs, but let's say a golden retriever.
Okay, all right, the golden retriever, right? So let's say we can be divided into breeds, or we can divide it into weight category. We divide it into small and height, or whatever category actually, right? It's based on that you can able to say what type of people buy this kind of dog. Is it a woman or men, or what
Family.
What is it's a
family dog.
family.
Yeah.
So it's a family dog basically. When you have the family dog, so that means you need to have a contextual of all the things, not about the product only. You don't want to put like a bully stick with a flavor, bully stick with all these things for this dog or all the things. You talk about the product name, features, and the benefits of why they're buying the product actually. None of the time you mentioning anything about repeating the words. Well, because if you don't have to index for a keyword, you would have to like a contextually index for it. If you semantically map it for the overall listing, that's the most important thing what you need to do at this point.
You'll see this happen with Google as well. Google have all these, we call it just clickless searches. If you have an article that you publish, and it's a great, really good quality, it might be, I'll just use knives, for example. You might be talking about a Damascus knife or that are used by chefs, and all of a sudden you're going to start ranking possibly for carving knife, sushi knife, and Google say this is relevant because the quality of the article will also provide the person who has an interest in Damascus knives with these other keywords as well. So Google's doing this right now.
See, there is one more thing what Amazon adapt to the Google is like a bounce rate actually. So right now, since why I say do not create a generic listing, it's a one reason. If your audience come on your listing and they are not relevant with any one of your product, any one of your images, any one of the video what they have, the bounce rate gets high actually. When your bounce rate gets high, your relevancy gets down. This is exactly what happened actually. If you create a personal listing and focus on the keyword that who's personalized for, basically you get the lower bounce rate at this point. So you get the higher relevancy and you can able to rank for it. You need to let the user to the browsers, whoever coming into your product, they want to check multiple segments, which is like they're checking the first image, they're checking the second image, they're going through a videos, they're checking the relevant products actually in the bottom. They're also checking your EBC, and they're also checking the email, the reviews. You need to have these many actions needs to be in place actually. Not like they're taking a 5 seconds decision to launch that's like a impulse purchase basically. You don't want those guys will like able to purchase it because of like the price points, and also they are like it's like a browser. It's like basically like they are not really like a relevant audience. They're like they're buying for somebody else. If you're buying a product for $50, right, would you spend a little bit more time on that product? Would you like, okay, let's say that I'm buying a glasses actually. I mean, I have to check if it's a good fit for me. Is it for a good for my eyes or whatever it is, right? You will go through more in details
Right.
if you're professional buyers. So what about like anybody? There are certain number of 30% of people who purchase just like that, and they return just like that as well. You focus on who is you want to be served to. That's the most important thing right now with the EQR model.
Okay, you gave a great explanation of this launch model. What about the maintenance model? What are you looking for as the product goes on?
There is two important things. One most important thing is Amazon placements. Amazon placement is like an inventory placement. There are close to 350 warehouse, I guess. You can able to see Amazon give you a placement only like a 40 to 50 when your product is like initially there. When you keep ranking and when you increasing the sales, they give little by little by little actually. So when we did the 4 phase of launch, we get to 150 placements. When you increase to 250 placement, you get 1 day shipping for most of the location. How we can get that from 100 to 150 location? What is the secret we found is like a lightning deals and best deals. We found when you run a best deals and lightning deal and you being very aggressive on external traffic or giveaways or something that you're doing in terms of like or the PPC aggressive, based on your previous success, they give like a better best deal on the next time. When they're placing your next best deal, they prepare you for more inventory places. When you get there, you're stuck there. It does not mean that you're gonna be after the best deal, you're gonna reduce it. The point what we saw is like you start there, and anytime after that, they distribute to multiple location at that point. When you do that, you automatically grow actually. At that point, what we do is like when you finish the 4 phase of the launch, we get that most of the time. 95% of people time we get the lightning deal and best deals actually. And if you not get the best deals, there is a way to get it. You need to escalate it multiple times to talk to the team. You can able to get the best deals now. When you get there, you just keep running the as much as best deals as possible, as much as lightning deals as possible for the next 3 months to increase the inventory placement in the warehouse completely. That's the first thing.
Have you ever wondered if you should pause or stop your PPC campaigns? Colin, Raja, and I get into when, if ever, it actually makes sense to pause or stop your campaigns.
The second thing what you need to focus on is like a cutting down on all the ad spend, whatever you're doing actually, literally. And also the what is the worst thing what people doing at this point? When they run the launch, they run the heavy PPC. On the day of they finish the launch, they rank the keyword, they cut the whole PPC completely. That's the bad things you can do for your people for your listing. When you do that, your relevancy goes down. Well, because what we found is we have not officially confirmed this. We're still testing this really, but what we found out is when you cut down the keyword that performing really well are not performing really well, what are you telling Amazon taking that as a signal is like that keyword is not relevant for you. Your organic ranking is dropping down. It's like so crazy. So what we started doing is basically like lowering down the cost. It doesn't matter how much bid it is. We keep the bid as it is. Actually, let's say that we're spending $100, we reduce to $80, then we reduce to $70, then we reduce to $50. Like a slow drop will help you to stay in ranking. If you're like cutting down immediately, that's the worst thing what you can do for your listing.
Absolutely. And that's always been the case, just cutting it off. And I don't know why a person would do that. I've heard of Neil Twa came on the podcast, and it was controversial. He just said, look, if I've got a great product that's selling, and this could be a year into it, and I'm on page one and I've got any PPC on it, I'm turning that off, you know? And he says a lot of the times I'll see the sales continue. And then I had other people come back and chat and start talking, saying, regardless, I would, just what you said, turn down the bid, maybe not make it where it's always showing, but still have the PPC on. Don't turn it off.
No, it's also like it depends on the product as well. So, for example, right, if you have like a better product, it's a unique product, you're like doing pretty good on the product, you are on the first page, and also the first page, it's a perspective. If you're in like a fashion category, first page is good. You don't have to be on the top page. People will like go through until third 3 pages. If you're like a design product, people go through up to 3 pages. If you are like essential product, if you're not in like top 2 rows, you're dead completely, right? If you're like a commodity product, if you're not in like top 2 row, top 1 row, you're dead. You're not making good amount of sales actually on the most of the keywords. So when you have like an amazing product which solves a major problem, right? And you can cut down the PPC. We have done it for a couple of products like that. It's not gonna you people once the eyeball is coming to your product, you're automatically able to get that momentum going pretty well. But even for that products, I would get multiples better for PPC with the PPC than without PPC.
We've gone through this, but I'd like to go through it again because it's so important. And we touched on this, but backend optimization, it can be the silent killer. If this is happening, how do we fix it?
Oh my God, that's a 1 hour topic, man. We can.
It is. It is.
Yeah, it's a very big topic. So let's go through this quick, actually, right? I will give you a 7 most important thing what is required for backend optimization and whether your product has a problem or not, actually, right? Let's start from the problems, right? Let's say your product was selling really good and you're automatically like losing 10% of keyword ranking all the time. You definitely have a item type problem completely on your listing. There are 7 attributes. What is most important thing? First, product type, item type, GL, DOW, and refinements, and the browse nodes. This has to be aligned with, so the browse node aligned with the product type aligned with like a, the browse node need to be aligned with the product type, and then your browse node need to be aligned with the GL. Your GL needs to align with like a DOW, and each and every item type will have refinement specifically, and the rest of refinement needs to be filled up accordingly to the Amazon optional data as what you have.
So, but I just want to stop you there for a sec. Can you explain? There's a lot of listeners here that might be newer. What the acronyms stand for?
Okay, sure. Okay, when it comes to a browse tree, there is a 3 objects there with the 3 elements there. One was like a root, branch, and leaf. You don't want your product in your root and branch. You always want your product in your leaf node. Leaf node will always have an ID. With the browse node, there is something called item type keyword. Item type keyword, why they introduced before like 2016, 2015, you can able to put your product in a different category and rank for it. Even if you're in a home, you can go on like a cell phone to get the bestseller batch. They do it. How Amazon avoided is basically, based on my understanding, is they come up with like a category based keywords. If you are in this category, you can only able to rank for certain keywords. You cannot able to rank for all other keywords, right? So how they avoided it using item type keyword completely. Item type keyword, you can able to find out when you're uploading your product, you can able to find out your browse node, your item type in the exactly on the upload feature, literally. And on that one, you can able to find out what is a product type of it. There is a, you can able to go and check it out in a browse tree guide in Amazon. Go on and check help or check browse tree guide for that particular category. You can able to find out so much information. I'm not sure how many people know about this particularly.
Yeah, it's a full guide.
It's a full guide completely. You will able to find out what browse node, what is his node ID, and what is it item type, and what is it particular refinements we need to have. So with that said, what is GL is like, this is called general ledger. General ledger is basically, let's say that if you are in sports, your general ledger will be like in sports. It is to define your fees in your Amazon categories, right? If it's in health, it has to be in health. If you're in drugs, if you're in like supplements, it will be in, sometimes you focus on drugs. And here's the problem, right? I'll tell you what's the problem. The expiration date, right? We recently going through this problem. Our supplement is like, let's say my supplement is a magnesium. I supposed to be in like GL health, okay? But if they point you to GL drugs, what they do is like you need to be in like a expiration date should be like 150 days or 950 days period. But if it's in a GL health, you can have like 1,000 days, 1,000 days as the expiration days actually. Think about it. The one GL, how it's related to expiration problems. If your product was there for quite 1,000 days, right? And if the GL was changed, that product will be going to like a trash completely. They're gonna remove those product completely.
Right.
So it's because of GL. You will be like assume like what the heck? My product is good. My expiration is good. Why it says on it's like expired? So the problem is your GL. If your DOW and GL is DOW is like a display on website, if that will be available on the front end of the Amazon, or you can call Amazon, talk about all these things. If your GL and DOW was mismatched, your listing split. Your listing will show together in your backend, but in the front end, your review split happens. Your review is like a split separately, and everything will happen because of that. So the combination of issues there will create a lot of chaos in your listing.
All right. Now it's time. We got a question from Simon. Kelsey?
Yes. So Simon is asking, can you force an update by deleting all attributes and then upload the complete flat file?
You could do it, but why would you need to do it? I mean, if your product is doing pretty good, why you want to delete all the attributes? All you need to do is like just update completely, download the data and update all the data, go and then check it out what it is there and upload it. That's it. You don't have to completely delete it. That's also create another chaos. You don't want that. You don't want to go through that one as well.
So the flat file can be arduous. It can be very tough if you don't know what you're doing. And I'm not just saying this because I want to push some business your way, but if you're not an expert with flat files, I would highly recommend that if you're listening, to get an expert to do that for your listing, because you could mess it up even further.
Yeah. The problem is, right? The problem is not a problem. The problem is the recovery time. Anytime this problem goes through, you end up in like burning your head, like what happened actually, right?
Yeah.
That's what we track, like close to 350 data checkpoints. We coming up with a SaaS soon, actually. I'm not sure when. You could, if that happens, you end up in like able to take 24 to 48 hours what happened, and another 72 hours to a week to fix the problem. Think about how much money. Let's say that you're making 500 sales or 100 sales a day, right? You're losing literally like 700 sales, which is, let's say, even like a 50 bucks, which is like $45,000 you're losing at that point. So you don't want to go through this one issue. Like you want to make sure you stay on top of your listing and the backend data, especially. Oh my God, you have no idea how much issues I have gone through so far.
Look at me, Colin. I lost my hair over it, but
No, you want to lose the hair purposely. You want to look stylish. Oh my!
yeah, there we go.
I'm like,
all right. So we're at the top of the hour. We're going to head over to the wheel. But before we get there, Colin, how do people get a hold of you?
You can reach out to me either Facebook, Colin Raja, or you can reach out to me. You can go to my website, colinraja.org. You can able to reach out there, or you can find me in YouTube. I talk about all this latest strategy, what's happened, case studies, and everything there. More in detail. And if you want to go through the GL issue, backend optimization things, you can go and check it out. There are videos available to go and then take a look at it.
All right, fantastic. All right, Kels, let's go to a sponsor, then over to the wheel.
Start, scale, exit, repeat. I'm Colin C. Campbell, and I've started over a dozen multi-million-dollar companies in the last 30 years. I spent the last 10 years writing the book, Start, Scale, Exit, Repeat, to figure out what it is that these serial entrepreneurs do over and over again. We interviewed over 200 people. We created 58 chapters, over 30 illustrations, 180 callouts, and we quite frankly made this book for the ADHD entrepreneur. It's been #1 on Amazon in 15 categories and has won 12 awards globally. Get your book today, either on ebook, paperback, hardcover, or Audible on Amazon or your favorite bookstore.
All right, let's get over to the wheel. All right. The Wheel of Kelsey with his Corona hair.
So this giveaway, it's a little confusing. This is for Colin Campbell's giveaway.
Oh, God.
The signed copy of Start, Scale, Exit, Repeat. Colin Raja's giveaway is next week. So we'll
I forgot. I wouldn't even have said anything, but yeah, okay. Here we go.
So here we go. This is for the signed copy, original copy of Start, Scale, Exit, Repeat. And let's see who the winner is.
Steve. Steve Billion. All right.
All right. So Steve, if you can email me, k@lunchwithnorm.com, we'll hook you up with your new book.
Let us know what you think of it as well. All right, Colin.
That's amazing, man.
Next week, you're going to hear from us about the wheel.
All right, awesome. I love that.
All right, I'm going to remove you. Don't go away. I'm going to come right back. But that's it. Thank you so much, Colin. We will talk to you soon. And it was fantastic. A lot of high-level stuff here, and probably a lot that this is the first time people have heard of it. So thanks for coming on.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me, man. I had so much fun here.
Cigars on me next time we get together.
All right.
All right, everybody. We will see you next week, next Wednesday at noon. See you later.
Mm-hmm.